Welcome to the Summit School District Spotlight. My name is Mikki Grebetz. I am the Communication Specialist for the district. Today we'll be talking about Vision 2020, about student-centered learning, specifically through STEM, and that's through innovative models and learning in the district. Today I am joined by Peder Hansen. He is the district STEM coordinator, and also by Ben Brown, a beloved science teacher at the middle school. Today we'll be talking about STEM throughout the district. So Peder, I think most people think about STEM mostly in the realm of technology, but what does STEM really mean?
That's a great question, and actually that's one that a lot of people ask me every day. What is STEM learning? There's a lot going around about STEM in the nation, in Colorado, and in our district, but our version of STEM really comes from the Vision 2020 and student-centered learning. What we really want is for kids to be able to know how and why they're learning what they're learning. STEM isn't really like one way of going about things. It's not just about robots. It's not just about science experiments. It's really about authenticating learning for students and letting them know that there is power in what they are learning now. So that's what we do in Ben's class of design thinking. We do it in all of our different maker spaces around the county. We're giving kids an opportunity to really deepen learning by experiencing what and why we learn what we learn.
And I think to add on to what Peder's saying about STEM is that authentic learning component and bringing it into the classroom, giving the kids the opportunity to be exposed to more things than they would normally be exposed to in a more traditional school setting.
Yeah, do you have any examples from your classroom about students using STEM?
The examples abound. We talk about, in design thinking class, we really focus on problem identification and focusing in on what is the real problem we're trying to solve. Design thinking is about real world problem solving so that we can take the students, provide them with a problem with a real world application. They need to identify what is the real problem. They need to empathize with their client, which means to interview them and discuss with them what the real needs of the client are. Moving on from there, ideation and brainstorming a myriad solutions, because if they stop at one solution, which is where our middle school students tend to start their process, they feel like they have the solution right out the gate. But if they spend a little bit more time and brainstorm more solutions, they can really have a better and more robust prototype, which is the next stage of the design thinking process. From that prototype, they take it back to the client for some testing, some feedback, and getting real critical feedback that they can use to update the prototype that they have, which then they can bring back to the client for more feedback. And getting them used to that critical feedback loop is another important part of the design thinking process so that they can internalize it without it being an attack. It's more of a constructive criticism for their product. And eventually we can produce something that can be put out into some sort of marketplace.
And when we talk about authentic, design thinking is authentic throughout the world, throughout the nation. It's really a human-centered design process that's a version of universal engineering design that includes clients in that process.
Great. So for the district overall, Peder, what does STEM look like?
The good news about that is STEM is not going to look only one way. I spent the last year really studying what STEM looks like throughout the nation. Like, what are the objectives of it, and what are we really looking for when we say STEM integration? What do we want? And really that is like access to experts, authentication of knowledge. We want to be equitable in the way that we go about giving that experience to students. And so I spent a long time, a year, not only studying what STEM means, but going out and seeing what it means to schools around the nation and around the country. And we've had the opportunity to partner with a lot of great experts in design thinking and STEM. We have some amazing STEM going on around the state. In St. Vrain, for example, they're doing a lot of great robotics, which we're hoping to partner with in the coming months. And so it's going to look very different for different schools, because we know our schools are really unique. Our clientele is unique, our teachers are unique, our abilities and capacities and interests are unique. So what's that going to look like in STEM for Summit schools? It's going to look different at every school. But at the core of that is students really getting to understand why we're learning what we're learning and how that will benefit them in the future. as well as now?
Peder spends a ton of time. I've been lucky enough to be included in some of the things that he does, but outside of even the work that he does for the school as part of CEI, which stands for the
Colorado Education Initiative?
Colorado Education Initiative, he brings in resources from, like he said, St. Vrain, from all over the state to work with us. He's had access to a network that we don't have just being in Summit County. For example, he brought an instructor from Create EDU from Boulder, who was an expert in design thinking, to provide all of us with some extended education and professional development when we were first starting our design thinking classes at the middle school. So that really helped us get off on the right foot. The networks that he has have been extensive and provided us with tons of resources, so it's been a great thing to have him be able to bring that into our smaller community up here in the mountains.
Great. All right, thank you both. Will you all stay with us for the second segment where we'll take a deeper dive into STEM in the school district in a moment?